Hey guys, so this is my first video with my new camera. It's the Sony ZV-E10. It's a pretty small mirrorless camera, but it's an entry-level thing for what I'm going to need going forward for my future content and stuff like that. So this is literally my first video with it. So I'm going to go through a piece that I wrote today. It's a pretty long piece, but I guess you could say upon making the piece today, I kind of realized that due to the length of it and the amount of detail that I put into it, as much as I want to put it out there and actually get people to read it, I know that most people aren't going to carry through with reading all of it. I'm going to do it so it makes time go a little bit quicker for you and you don't have to sit there reading it. And not only that, I think it's very insightful, it's very detailed, and it's completely true and honest. And I want people to learn more about it, about where I'm at the moment and why things are going the way they're going, to give people some insight into content creation and everything behind it and the complexities and challenges you face. So first of all, I'm going to talk about my posting schedules. Not so much about what I'm actually going to post and when, but more so how it's sort of occurred for me so far. And you'll know what I mean when you start to hear out what I'm trying to say. So as most of my, like I call them, in-tune followers would have already noticed since I began, I have a history of posting consistently for about 1 to 2 weeks at a time, before then ceasing posting again for several more weeks. There are a few reasons for this. First of all, and in no particular order, I aspire to produce a lot of video and audio content in advance and then release it simultaneously with the social media content you tend to see. I tend to produce a long video, or one that involves a lot of B-roll footage, which is background footage, but then become burnt out from the arduous editing required to render it, as well as having to attend to my daily needs as well, like work and home stuff and exercise and sort of all that stuff in between, right? So when this happens, I tend to find myself run down and burnt out, and I spend a lot of my time on the weekends editing as well. My remedy for this is to produce several pieces of video and audio content in advance and then to release them to a schedule. And as you might have been able to gauge from today, I'm starting to do that now. Number 2. I frequently learn as I post that my work is still pretty devoid of quality, substance, and wow factor, or at least I call it wow factor. But I'm okay with this because I've always known this was going to occur. It was an inevitability. It's an inherent part of starting a literally brand new concept from the ground up with absolutely no prior experience of my own. And of course, doing this all on my own. So I'm okay with this because I knew it would take me about 1 to 2 years just to become even decent with the execution of my material and my content. Everything from ideas to the delivery of the ideas, to the engagement or the wow factor, understanding how equipment works, editing processes, online posting algorithms, pitching to people and calls to actions, also known as CDAs, lighting and more. They all need to be refined if you want to become better at your craft. My remedy for this was to strip back the entire process and to begin to take a learner's approach, rather than and I quote, I already know the gist of it kind of approach. Part of this was actually pegging back the work as well, to have time to work on it behind the scenes. The next thing I'm talking about is what I call viewership and following. First of all, I wasn't posting frequently enough to gain viewership, interest, attraction, and even perceived reliability, because when you're posting infrequently or sporadically, you might be taken as just a spam profile that wants followers or tries to get people to follow them so that they can get some quick likes, quick hits and views, and I understand and I respect that. So that's why I think I wasn't getting shown all that much to different people. And the answer for this, or the reason for this, is twofold. So the Instagram algorithms didn't treat my work seriously, and nor did I really expect them to, I guess. And the viewers themselves probably felt similarly. That's part A, or part 1. Part B, or part 2, is it's difficult to get found on Instagram. And again, I'll put in my own words here, is because with Instagram, you're more susceptible to utilizing different special characters and even different names of your accounts and profiles, rather than just, hi, my name is Joe Blow, or my name is Christian so-and-so. Rather, you're going to be, like I said, subjected to more special characters, different names, or at least you have a perceived need to, because when you're trying to get found or noticed on social media, when you're a brand, you're not going to call yourself by your name. You're going to call yourself by the name of your brand itself. And to do that, or to get exposure, you need to get recognized. And what I'm starting to think is you need to get recognized in advance before you start posting on these platforms where it's a little bit harder to get seen or get noticed. But I'll elaborate on that a little bit more after. I'm going to skip now to some testimony that I've received from people, and then I'll close out from there. So some testimony I've received. And I'll start out with how I've written my introduction here, word for word. So this one may indeed surprise a few people, because it even surprised me, the once biased creator of this content. I've received more positive feedback and testimony, and ironically, some more motivating and inspiring words, which is what I'm meant to be doing for people, but anyway, from more people than I would have even given to myself. So I think that's quite important to note. That's quite significant. It's probably saying something. It's probably saying that either I'm on track with something, or perhaps some people just feel the need to say it, or they're trying to be nice. So that brings me to my next point. I think that it's very possible for people to give you testimony in ways that you would want to hear it, or tell you things you would want to be told or hear or know about, for the sake of giving you some confidence and some spur on and making you feel better about yourself. And the reality is that is true, and it works with a lot of us, and it even works on me. And I say that it's true and it's reality because, and I made a post about this before, that confidence does not equate to fact, or to matter of fact, or to actuality or reality. Reality and fact and actuality are far different to confidence. Confidence gives you the belief that you're doing the right thing and that you should continue to go along with that, as opposed to taking an alternative option. Whereas fact is just that. It's a matter of fact. It's black and white, no gray area. It's right and wrong. So what I'm saying is, some people may give you good feedback because it gives you confidence, or because they're telling you what you want to hear. Others will be genuine and legitimate. It's great to take the feedback, all of it, and to talk about it like I'm about to. But just bear in mind too, as a content creator, you've got to be able to decipher for yourself which of the feedback you believe is true and legitimate and fair, and that you're going to take seriously, and which of that feedback you feel is just being told to you. Because I know some people here are going to say, just accept the feedback as it is. Take the good feedback. I am. But until you have created content or have started up a brand that you know you need to maintain and keep going, you've got to keep that beast alive, you know you've got to decipher that for yourself, because you just can't take absolutely everyone's word for it and assume it's all true and real and legitimate. Because you could be being told for the most part what you want to hear, and then you could go about your business still continuing to create shit content like I was doing for a while. When I used to create what I call shit content or shit quality content, I was still getting some good feedback from people. Not as much as I am now, but still a little bit. I appreciated it, but I've got to work out for myself, because I've still got to make good content. I just can't say, oh yeah, they've told me that, it must be good. Fuck the rest off. I'm going with that and that's it, because people aren't going to like your work if you're just adhering to a couple of bits of feedback you've heard and you believe it and take it as gospel. Here's some of the feedback I received. One of your videos about X, Y, and Z topic, I can't remember, resonated with me. Another feedback I got was, your work in general resonates with me. And I know that does for some people because of the themes that I talk about. Keep going with the content. I really like the tops you wear in your videos. Can I buy one off you one day? That'd be nice. A few more. Loving the content, man. Keep it up. Keep up the good work, bro. This is a more detailed one I received. These are the ones I believe wholeheartedly, because they're critical. They're not critical, sorry. They're feedback, not just reviews. Loving the posts. Not everyone can find the time to sit through a video that has visuals in it. Perhaps you could change it up a little bit or create just podcasts. But either way though, you've started, and 99% of people haven't even done that. So that one sat well with me. I particularly like that one. I like them all, don't worry. I do, I love them. Especially when you don't get a hell of a lot of feedback. I appreciate it like you probably don't believe. And last one, and I got most recently from a mate, was keep going, be the change that you want to see. That's it for most of it. Like I said, there's some more I've put aside, but I'm not going to read it now. But what I'll do is I'll summarize by saying this. As I go forward and I make more and more content, I'm going to slowly bring about many more ideas that I've had sitting in the works for many years now. Since the time I even conceived the idea of the human essence, which I think was back in late 2019, early 2020. So that's important to know. So what I'm saying on that is I do have a lot of content, but I've got to find the right balance between releasing it, which I think will help my brand in some kind of way because it's going to broaden my options and my variety of content, I suppose you could say. But not only that, it's also going to help me, I hope anyway, build my followership because I'll be getting, I'll be targeting different people, different niches, different ideas out there, different styles of making content, and you'll see what they are when they come up. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I am going to my draft piece now just to show you quickly what I'm happy to tell you about so far. And there will be a few more things that are going to come of it afterwards. I'm going to start doing video interviews with people. Everyday people like you and I. People that I know or have met and I feel can provide some insight and some exposure into some of the things that they know about or that they've gone through or that they're just very good at. Something that they've got a very good knack of doing or they're quite adept at or have got some good life experience in. So I'll be doing interviews with people going forward, and I think that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to introduce probably starting from next month because I do have a few people who'd like to do it and they're already ready to go. Prior to that I'll be getting into YouTube Shorts, making short videos that are purely motivational with just me talking with background noise and otherwise, or background music, and otherwise. Obviously podcasts I've been speaking a little bit about so far. I'm going to create some insider knowledge posts, which are some short, sharp, and informative tips about certain things you may not already know about. And I'm going to do some what I call my workspace posts, where I talk about my workspace and show you around and my setup and everything like that. Once I get it finalized and perfect. And then there's a few more things I'd prefer not to talk about here today. I'll do it in my own time. But basically, I just wanted to give everyone some insight into that. I don't read off a script almost ever. It's very rare I do, but I wanted to today because I'd written all this information first and I just wanted to give it to people there. And I know some people prefer it this way. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took some stuff out of it. I hope it gave you a bit more perspective and shine a bit more of a light on things of how I go about my business and how things work here. I didn't get into technical jargon, as I said. I can do that another time. But I just wanted to show everyone a little bit more about the human essence and what I'm all about and really what's involved and the ebbs and flows I've had so far. So thanks for watching and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I'll be creating new videos pretty soon, hopefully as early as next week. So till then, thanks guys.